Ever wondered why the market downturns have been more than just numbers on a screen? Let's take a moment to delve into this, shall we? You see, when we talk about market downturns, we're not just talking about abstract figures or mere percentages. No, we are referring to a ripple effect that impacts society at large. In today's world, the economy isn't just a separate entity operating in isolation, it's interwoven into the very fabric of our society, our culture, our daily lives. When the markets take a nosedive, it's not just the stockbrokers who feel the heat, it's everyone. From the small business owner grappling with dwindling sales to the average Joe concerned about his savings, the effects are far-reaching and deeply ingrained. But it doesn't stop there. The economic turmoil doesn't just affect our wallets. It stirs up a societal storm that often surfaces as cultural tension and conflict. The financial instability brings out the best and worst in us, exposing the fissures in our society. We start questioning the status quo, challenging the norms, and before we know it, we're in the throes of a culture war. Now you might wonder, how does a culture war relate to market downturns? Well, think of the market downturn as a catalyst. When things are going well, differences in ideologies, beliefs, and values can coexist relatively peacefully. But when the economy starts to falter, these differences become more pronounced. The tension escalates and the ideological divide widens, setting the stage for a culture war. This culture war isn't fought with weapons. It's a battle of ideas, beliefs, and identities. It's a struggle for dominance between opposing cultural forces, and just like any war, it has its key players, strategies, and motivations. The market downturn simply provides the spark that lights the fuse. So it's clear that market downturns are not just about money. They are a catalyst to a much larger, more complex conflict. They open up a Pandora's box of sociocultural implications that we simply cannot ignore. So buckle up as we delve deeper into this fascinating and unsettling phenomenon. Now that we've established the economic backdrop, what is this culture war we're talking about? Well, a culture war, in its broadest sense, is a conflict within a society, stemming from opposing ideologies, values, and beliefs. It's a tug-of-war of ideas, often polarizing individuals and groups, creating divisions that run deep. The origins of culture wars can be traced back to times when societal norms were challenged, when the status quo was questioned. It's in these moments, when the comforting familiarity of the known gives way to the uncertainty of the new, that culture wars find their birthplace. Now, who are the key players in this battle of ideologies? They are us, individuals, communities, political parties, media outlets, all with a stake in the society we live in. We are the ones who shape and reshape the cultural landscape through our actions and inactions, our words and silence. So, what are the main issues at stake? They are as diverse as we are. They range from social issues such as gender equality, racial justice, and freedom of speech, to economic issues like wealth distribution and job security. And then there are the ideological battles over nationalism, globalization, and the role of government in our lives. But how do market downturns come into play? Imagine a society already rife with cultural tension. Now add to that an economic downturn. The uncertainty and distress caused by such downturns exacerbate existing cultural divisions. It's like pouring gasoline on an already lit fire. Economic instability creates a fertile ground for conflict, providing an opportunity for divisive rhetoric to take root and flourish. This is the stage where culture wars thrive. Economic downturns don't just impact our wallets, they shake up our societal values, our beliefs, our way of life. They push us to take sides, to defend our cultural territory, to engage in this ideological battle. In essence, the culture war is a battle of ideologies fueled by economic distress. So how does this culture war play out in real life? Well, it's a complex dance of ideologies and tactics, an intricate interweaving of economics, politics, and cultural identity. Let's start with the strategies different factions employ. On one side, there are those who champion tradition and continuity, often resorting to the language of nostalgia and national pride. They yearn for a past they perceive as simpler, less contentious. On the other side, there are those who advocate for progress and change, utilizing rhetoric of inclusivity and equality. They envision a future where all identities are respected and valued. The battlefield of this war is not only in the streets or the halls of power, but also in our daily conversations, our social media feeds, and our entertainment choices. It's a war fought with hashtags and memes, with viral videos and trending topics. It's a war that can turn the most mundane of discussions into a heated debate, and a casual scroll through social media into a minefield of conflicting viewpoints. The media, both traditional and digital, play a pivotal role in this conflict. They not only report on the war, but also shape its course. Through their choice of stories, their framing of issues, and their amplification of certain voices, they can influence public opinion and sway the tide of battle. Social networks, too, are an essential part of the dynamics of the culture war. They provide a platform for individuals to express their views, to find like-minded people, and to organize and mobilize. But they can also be a breeding ground for misinformation and echo chambers where opposing views are shut out and confirmation bias reigns supreme. The impact of this culture war on everyday life is profound. It influences our attitudes towards work and leisure, our relationships with family and friends, and our sense of self and community. It shapes our political choices, our consumption habits, and our interactions with the world around us. But at the heart of this conflict lies the interplay between economics, politics, and cultural identity. Economic downturns can exacerbate cultural tensions as people grapple with financial instability and job insecurity. Politics can stoke the flames of cultural conflict as politicians exploit divisions for their own gain. And cultural identity can both fuel and be fueled by the culture war as individuals and groups seek to define themselves in opposition to others. The culture war is thus a complex and multifaceted conflict, deeply rooted in our society's structures. It's a war that touches every aspect of our lives, from the personal to the political, from the economic to the cultural. And as long as these underlying tensions exist, the culture war will continue to rage on. Given this grim reality, how can we navigate these turbulent times? This question might be echoing in your minds as we delve deeper into the unsettling landscape of the culture war, and rightly so. It's crucial to equip ourselves with the tools necessary to not just survive but thrive in the face of this conflict. First and foremost, we must cultivate critical thinking. In an era where information is at our fingertips, the ability to discern fact from fiction is paramount. We must challenge our own biases, question our sources, and strive for a well-rounded understanding of the issues at hand. Next, let's not underestimate the power of empathy. Empathy allows us to see the world from another's perspective, to understand their experiences, fears, and hopes. It's the antidote to the us versus them mentality that fuels the culture war. By fostering empathy, we can begin to dissolve the barriers that divide us and realize that we share more commonalities than differences. And finally, let's champion open dialogue. Conversations, sometimes difficult and uncomfortable, are the bedrock of progress. It's through these exchanges that we can challenge our preconceptions, evolve our perspectives, and find middle ground. But remember, open dialogue isn't about winning or losing, it's about understanding. It's about listening as much as speaking, about acknowledging different viewpoints without necessarily agreeing with them. It's about building bridges, not walls. So as we navigate this culture war, let's arm ourselves with critical thinking, empathy, and open dialogue. Let's remember that this isn't a battle to be won, but a conversation to be had. And most importantly, let's not lose sight of our shared humanity. After all, we're all passengers on this ship called Earth, trying to make sense of the world and our place within it. Remember, the culture war is not a zero-sum game. It's possible to find common ground and build bridges even in times of conflict. And it's through these bridges that we can begin to heal the wounds of division and chart a course towards a more understanding and empathetic society. To wrap up, let's revisit the key points we've discussed today. We've delved into the unsettling battle that has emerged amid market downturns, a cultural war that is fueled by social upheaval and ideological clashes. It's an intricate dynamic that has deep roots in our society, reaching into our collective consciousness and shaping our realities. We've also shed light on the key players in this conflict, their motivations, and the strategies they deploy. This complex interplay between economics, politics, and cultural identity has been illuminated, providing you with a comprehensive understanding of the phenomenon. And finally, we've discussed survival strategies, ways to navigate these turbulent times with resilience and foresight. This is a complex issue, but knowledge is power, and understanding is the first step towards resolution. Please like, subscribe, and share if you found this video informative and helpful. Stay tuned for more insights.